Hey, this is JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. I'm almost at 10K subscribers. I beg you to subscribe, and please hit like and share it with your friends. Today I just wanted to take a quick look at Microsoft Flight Simulator. I use this at home. I'm an avid flight sim guy. Been flying flight sims since the late 80s when the very first Microsoft Flight Sims came out. And it was one runway, a mountain, and they actually had ILS, and you were flying likely a Cessna, I recall. And they did have an ILS on that runway, which is kind of cool. So here we've got Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm not going to go through a full review of Microsoft Flight Sim, but what I'm going to do is just go to the world map here, see if I can open that up. And up here in the corner, you can see I've got myself an H160, High Performance Group is the company, but an H160 helicopter. This is a very, very nice executive helicopter. It has wheels as opposed to skids, and I was told the other day by a gentleman who's got over 7,000 flying hours in helicopters that you got to make sure your brakes are on when you land one of these things. And I didn't do it, and I paid the price. So what I wanted to do is set my departure here. If I zoom in on the maps, which is pretty cool. I've done a lot of flights out of off oil rigs and landing on oil rigs, all kinds of fun stuff like that. But if I go to the Halifax International Airport, I want to show you, I've downloaded the scenery, which is available, and you can go to the scenery models and do that. If I select one of these spots here on the runway, the helicopter starts, the startup is not a cold start, so everything is running kind of thing. So if you're bored or you want to get going, you start it that way. If you're not, you've got to pick one of these other spots. So I used to work at the Halifax International Airport. I think I worked in the parking ramp. I think I worked over here, which I believe was the old, what was it? Anyway, it's where the air ambulance is here. So, and this is the end of runway 5, right? They did have an accident off the end of runway 5 this way, and 747 crashed in the woods here and took out the ILS on the end, and it was delivering lobster, so it was a Clearwater aircraft, 747. 7 people lost their lives. It was terrible. I came into work that morning and I saw the bit of a disaster on the end of the runway, and feel sorry for all those people and all the folks that were, the families that would have been impacted by this. But if I start off here, I believe select that as a departure, and then it gives me some options here of where to go from a runway perspective. Hopefully it's going to start off with a cold start, and I'll just say end of runway 5. I don't want to be there. I want to be actually at the hangar. So I want to set this off as a departure here. Come on. I'll delete the departure, I'll start it off again, and I'll do that. And then it says runways. I really don't want to do that, so I'm just going to hit fly and see if I can start off in the aircraft. It takes a few seconds to load. Some guy named Jad2300 wants to be my friend. I'm not sure who that is or why. You can look him up. Maybe he's watching my video right now, and he's obviously a flight sim pilot. So what you have here on startup, it takes a little while, but I've got pretty impressive hardware. I'm running a 7800 S3D or X3D chip, and I've got the 4090 video card in here, and I've got 64 gigs of RAM on that thing. It's pretty high end, and I've got 2 times 2 terabyte SSD solid state drives. Ready to fly. So here you go. It just gives you a quick little look at the runway. That's runway 5. There's the aircraft. Beautiful, beautiful aircraft. Really nicely designed. It's a 5-blader, so it's going to be flying pretty smooth. I'm not sure if they have an attenuation system in the aircraft. They likely do. And you can see the struts on the aircraft here, the lag dampers right here for each blade. And the lag dampers, sometimes they're active in some aircraft. And you can see the tips of the blades are curved, and that's just a design for less turbulence on the end of the blade, which gives it better performance. So let's just get in the aircraft and have a look. So now here I am in the aircraft. Now I have Tobii Eye Tracker 5, and for me to turn on Tobii Eye Tracker, I basically I've got to go to my Tobii here, my Tobii experience, and it's going to open my Tobii experience, and I just have to hit enable. And all of a sudden it's enabled. And what I'm running here is the Warthog joystick. So if I hit the Warthog joystick, it's going to center this here. So now I'm going to get rid of the body because that's me there. And that's me without a head. It kind of looks stupid, but if I click again, I've got it my joystick or my joystick mapped to basically go back to the center position. So I'm going to get rid of my body, but you can see my feet moving here. I've got very high-end equipment here I'm running, so with the Warthog stick and throttle, they're running it probably with tax Canadian around $900, and then but let's see if I can start this aircraft. So I'm going to just jump out for a second just to show you the aircraft. So there it is there, and I've got various things mapped on my throttle here to be able to just rotate down, and I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see there's the aircraft. Now the Tobii eye tracker is watching my eyeballs and my head at the same time. So if I look this way, I can see the tail. If I look the other way, I'm seeing the nose, and there's the nose landing gear. And I can rotate around this aircraft, which is kind of cool. There's me and the co-pilot in there. I can remove the co-pilot from this aircraft too. And again, like I said before, this is a 5-bladed aircraft, which is more smooth. It's got 2 engines. It's Airbus H160 aircraft, just a beautiful aircraft. Does it have any wire cutters in the front? Should have wire cutters in the front, but it doesn't. What the heck? It should have a wire cutter right up top here, so just above the windscreen or maybe on the nose, but it doesn't. It's not expected to land in terrible areas. Like search and rescue aircraft would have wire cutters because they've got to go low to do what they do. So, but they've got a nice screen in the front here. I just noticed it. So for the engine intake, they've got this screen that perhaps prevents birds from getting inside the engine. That's the only thing I can think of is bird strike and a bird going through the engine and fouling the engine. So not a good thing. There's a horizontal stabilizer. It's kind of an interesting design there, the horizontal stab, as they say. And if you look at the tail rotor and the tail rotor blade, so it's encapsulated in the tail here, and they would have an intermediate gearbox somewhere close to that tail rotor probably, and then going all the way through the shaft here, and the cowlings on the top and the cowlings over the engine and into the engine. So this is the aircraft. So I'm going to jump in and see if I can start this thing. The nice thing is they have these tablets here included, and got all kinds of crap here. So, but if I look at documentation, I think that's what I want first. This is not going to help me, but this here is the AFCS failures and other failures, and then maintenance, and you can go and check all that stuff and do all maintenance actions, right? So that means everything is good to go. Press down here again. And these are maps here and aircraft configuration, crew and payload. So I can get rid of that. I can hide the pilot, right, and hide the other guy here. So if I just hide myself, I think if I hide myself, there we go. Just click on it and I'm gone. And if you look down, there's no feet, but it can see my pedals moving here. So, and I'll leave the co-pilot in the seat. So, and I've got equipment here, and this is what the loads are for the equipment. And then other options, and I noticed that here I just clicked on the top here. I kind of did that by accident, but I clicked on the top here, and when you click down here, if it's got floats, which it does, you can retract the floats as well, which is kind of a little bit foolish because you would never be able to retract the floats on an aircraft while you've deployed them. That's it, you've deployed them for a reason. So that's the equipment, and then you've got options. And again, this thing is looking at my eyeballs, right? Downwash effects is on. Pilot automatic hide is on, so you can see head only, head and body, and then some setup stuff here. So there's tons of stuff you can do in this. And I'm cold and dark setup right now, as opposed to ready for takeoff, because I could click ready for takeoff and that's it. Now I'll go over to documents here, and then if I go to the checklist, and I think this is the one for cold and dark, and there's the checklist. So if I look at this, I've got to do some stuff to actually power up this aircraft. So I'm going to try to do it fast. So turn on the battery 1 and 2, the generator 1 and 2, and the E-gen. DCU or the DC ground power unit, turn that on, power up test okay, and the rad alt stuff. Let's see if I can, if I'm Tobii eye tracker, I just kind of look over here and it wants me to turn on some stuff, and I think, see if I can remember how to do this. I can't put anything on idle yet. I got to turn all this stuff on. So, and there's a sequence of events. So the rotor brake currently is off. I'll leave that off, and I need to turn on the generators. So let's turn that generator on, and the DC ground power unit. And if I do the DC ground power unit and you look outside the aircraft like this, I should be able to see that ground power unit sitting out there. Where is it? There it is. There's the ground power unit. So that's pretty cool. You can actually sit outside and have a look at the ground power unit. So that's that. And now we're going to turn on battery 1 and 2. Where the heck is battery 1 and 2? I think they're up here somewhere. There's no way they're not up here. So battery 1 and 2. Where are you? Battery 1 and 2. There's the IBF engines and that. I can't do anything there. I'm thinking over here. Battery 1 and 2. Where are you? That's the rad alt. That's the what. For some reason I'm having a brain fart for a second here, because I know I have to turn this on anyway, but I really would like to have the battery on. The DC power unit is on though, so I should be, there we go, battery 1 and 2. I couldn't see them for some reason. So now I got to keep my head super steady, because if I don't keep my head steady, this thing just floats all over the place. And that's with the Tobii eye tracker. And turn on Gen 1 and Generator 2 like this, so I should be getting some avionics, and I do got avionics, and you can see I've got all kinds of engine warnings and stuff, because the engine power unit's connected. I'm doing some weight computations here while I'm waiting, and when I start up the engines I'm going to keep an eye on the torque here, and I'm going to keep an eye on the rotor speed over here on the side. Hopefully you can see my mouse. The AFCS is disengaged, so I'm going to start the engines first, but let's look over here. What else do I have to do? So I did the DC, I did the generators. I need the rad alt, radio altimeter 1 and 2, and the FMS 1 and 2, flight management system 1 and 2. So let's look here. So rad alt 1 and 2 on, and let's turn on the FMS 1 and 2 like that. Now I can run a test here, right? So I can do an audio lamp test, but I'm not going to bother doing that right now. So I can run that test if I wanted to. And I look down the manual, said lamp test. I could do that test. Not a big deal. I'm not going to do it. So the pilot multifunction display, I'm looking at that. I'm checking that and make sure that the heading and the compass match. So this is where I look over here to the compass. And let me see if I can slide my head over there. And what does it say? It says 30, it says 300 and something, 330 degrees or something like that on the compass. And I'm not sure whether my heading is saying the exact same thing right there. Yeah, pretty much good. It's between west and north, and it's 330. So they're matched. So that's good. And then I go in here again, have a look. So the floats are off, the wipers not on, and the HTOS, which is a train avoidance system. So what I like to do here is I'll put my floats on auto, which is usually a good thing. My wipers are off. I don't need them. The HTOS I'm going to put on mute because it's going to be annoying me, and the collision avoidance system I'm also going to put on mute. It'll give me a message here, and I'll just acknowledge that message so it knows that I did it on purpose, right? So that's good. Got that done. Then I look at the weather radar and make sure that that's center console, so I could look at that down here and then turn on the weather radar, but I'm not going to bother doing that now. I'm going to turn the FM flight management computer on to just maps. Just trying to start this off, so I'll just leave it on maps. It gives me a nice little map of the Halifax International Airport. So check that, check this. MFDs were good. So I'm going to check my weight data, my oil, my everything data. So I look in here and I see, okay, my payload is 0. So I would normally just pop up my payload a bit and basically, let me see if I can do that. There we go. I want to add some weight here. So I'll put it 440 kilograms of payload, and my crew would be next. So I'd have to configure the crew line select key. So this will allow me to select the next line, I guess, and put a value in there. So that's good. That's my payload. And I'm looking at the rest of this. None of this will start until I start the aircraft up. So I think I'm just getting anxious here. I need to start the aircraft up. So I can check my pedals and my cyclic and my collective. So I got the pedals operating, and I've got the stick operating, and I've told you I've got a Warthog stick, so it's pretty high end. And I've got my co-pilot, and she's been flying. She's got over 3,000 hours of flying in the 160, and there's a fantastic bun in her hair. So that's the bun that the man bun. Men have that bun nowadays. So I do not have a bun. In fact, I am missing hair. So now I want to get to the next page of this, so I can just click here, and I got to stare at it because I got Tobii eye tracker on. And I think if I put documents up and then do this, I get the next page. So I want to start engine 2, and I want to make sure that the inboard FMS view page, that's good. Overhead panel, engine 1 or 2 idle. So I want to start that up. So I want to put it on idle. So if I look up here and I say I can put engine 1 on idle, there we go. That should start the rotors turning. You can see if I look up here, the rotors are turning. And let's just step outside for a second. And there we go. We got some action on the rotors. And there's IMP Group, which is pretty cool. I worked for that company for 21 years. And my office was right, that upper window on the left there. That was my office window, right there. So let's get this aircraft started. So that's good. So now I'm looking at my torque. Get that torque up and get this the rotor speed up. It's at 65, 67. I'm just going to get that up to a higher level for the torque for engine 1. There is a thing, if you can get the rotor speed down to 50, you can hit the rotor brake. So engine 1's on idle. And here I'm checking N1, monitoring that. That's my N1 value over here, 79. And then looking at N2, that's for acceleration. My torque increases, my hydraulic pressure is good, my main gearbox pressure is good. Let me see if I got that. Everything is good. There we go. And I'm looking at my values. It looks pretty good now. I think I'll just reach up and start engine 2. So let's back up here again with my Tobii eye tracker and go over here and stare at that button and start engine 2. Well, I went into flight mode, which is not, I'm not supposed to go into flight mode when I'm doing this, so that was a mistake. But the engine 2 should torque up again. So I'm looking at the torque engine 1. Did I screw up something? I'm not sure. Oh no, I got N1 on engine 2 is coming up again. So we're getting N1, engine 1 is at 90. That's pretty good. The torque here is at 40 something. And there we go. Engine 2 starting to react. So it's engine 2 right there, the torque on engine 2. And then N1 for engine 2 is up again. Engine oil levels are picking up here. Main gearbox oil levels are fine. The hydraulic battery and stuff is good. And I got to look down here, and then I should be turning off the ECS distribution. So I think that needs to come off at some point in time. If I look down here, I will turn on or turn off the autopilot. I want to turn autopilot 1 and 2 on, and I should get a positive message because of that. Make sure my parking brake is on right now, and everything else looks fine. And let's look over here. We're good. And all my settings are fine. And if I look down here, what else do I have? Start, check, monitor. After engine start, so I need to decouple my ground power unit before I take off. So, and auto, I've already set my floats. So I need to go up here and just decouple that ground power unit. And if you look, my emergency generator should be on, which it is. I turned that on earlier. And if you look outside again, you'll see that there is no The ground power unit is gone. So there we go. So let me go to the next page here, see if I can find a next page. This is a dark startup here. So engine 1, engine 2. So what I want to do is put engine 1 and 2 into flight mode. Engaged engine guard switch needs to be engaged, and inboard multifunction display as required, landing lights as required. I'm not going to bother with those. Forward center console, I need the nose wheel free and the parking brake off. So let me put the engine on flight mode, engine 1 and 2 in flight mode, and everything is fine here. Yeah, these are input filters, by the way, these IBFs for the engine, IBF1 and IBF2, and I can set those to normal. I think they were set to normal. I just open normal. All right, rotor brake is not on, so we're good there. Now I want to go down here and take off the parking brake, and I think the nose wheel brakes should be off. Where are we here? Nose wheel brakes. That's lock, and I want them off to allow me to use the nose wheel. So that's that. Now, am I ready to take off yet? Parking brake on. Collective pitch. Okay, we're good. Landing gear up. This is after takeoff. So what we're going to do, I should have gone down for the before takeoff here. Flight performance computed. Parking brake as required. AFCS prep is required. Transponder check. Floats installed. Auto. Message check. Everything's good. I've got nothing showing here from a message perspective. It says here I've got 4 hours and 3 minutes of flight with my fuel load. There's my fuel, 4 hours and 3 minutes of flight, and it's kind of leveled off on the two tanks, 555 kilograms. You got to make sure you have the right, you're using the right measurements, kilograms, not pounds, so you don't make mistakes in fuel load. So there we go. So now I want to sit down here, and I'm going to hit my center button to realign here, and I'm going to tuck this in. I don't think I need to look at this anymore. Or actually, I'm going to tab up here where the time is, and this will allow me to actually do an auto hover. So let's have a look outside again. There it is. There's the Halifax International Airport. Just looking around, there's runway 5 there. So if I could just back up a bit and taxi over to runway 5, we'll see how successful I am at doing that. A little bit of pedal. So I just want to take off, or just hover ever so slightly, not too much, a little more pedal. Just in front of you, this Halifax International Airport. Actually, I was down that way in the hangar. So now I'm all set up to fly on the end of runway 5. So I jump back in the aircraft here, and I'm just gonna go and put a little bit of power in the aircraft. Everything is fine as was before, and I'm going to just show you. I've got a button map to actually be able to hover. So let's just get in the air here, and you can see how that all turns on now. And then if I click on this, I'm in height hover mode, which is pretty friggin' handy. So if I jump out of the aircraft, there it is in height hover. So let me zoom in on the aircraft here, and I'm just drifting a little bit sideways there, and I'll look down here, and now I can retract my landing gear. I've got a button mapped in my Warthog throttle to do that. So I just press that button once, and it retracts the landing gear very nicely. And I'm just going to put myself around here like this. I'm just going to watch what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm going to end up doing something wrong. So it likely doesn't like the fact that I'm outside the aircraft right now. But there it is there. What a beautiful model for the aircraft. And I'm going to give it, I can bump that up or beep that up a bit. So there's my height. So if I do this, that should beep the aircraft up a bit. Now it's saying landing gear because it knows how close I am to the runway. So I'm just beeping that up a bit. And then I'm going to turn this autopilot off and then just take off down the runway. hoser. So the hover mode is now off, the height is now off, and I should be able to just apply a bit of stick here forward and get this aircraft flying down the runway. And there we go. My torque's at 102, to lower that a bit, or not my torque, my rotor speed is at 102. And I'm gonna do a flyby on the taxiway just to piss off everybody at the office. So there we go. It doesn't like the terrain. I had to reset the terrain warning system, avoidance system. So there's CanJet and IMP. There's the first hangars where I used to work. And we're just going to fly by everything here. There's the, yeah. There's a couple more hangars. Those are IMP hangars here. And there's a bird bath for the aircraft there. Pretty sure that's what that is. And there we've got the various aircraft, Boeing, Airbus, all kinds of aircraft that are at the terminal and ready to go. And just flip myself over here. Dangerous flying, folks. There's the parking lot. And there's the back end of the air. There's where the parking is, indoor parking and outdoor parking here. And it says there's a hotel here, the Alt Hotel. I know they tried to build a hotel years ago and they gave up on it. But that looks like there is a hotel. And the most important part of this whole flight is right after here. If you look straight down, you'll see a Tim Hortons Donuts. Right there. And that's going to end the flight because that's Timmy's. And if you got your Timmy's, then you're all good. So thanks a lot. I'm JD. Thanks for watching my channel. There's a highway that goes all the way to Halifax. And if you look down the road here, you'll be able to see, yeah, there's the IMP hangar there that was built to modify aircraft back in the day. So, and there's a giant car lot for selling cars, I think. So there we go. Halifax is straight ahead. That's all I'm going to do today. So thanks for watching my channel. Please subscribe, please hit like, and please say hi to my co-pilot. She's got, how many hours did I say of flying? 4,000 hours of helicopter flight. And there's a nice hotel. I've been there, Courtyard Inn Marriott. And pretty good simulation. I'm looking forward to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 coming out. That'll be pretty cool. That'll make a big difference. When you're driving down this road here, there's all kinds of overpasses and stuff like that they've added over the years. And if you're from the Halifax area, you'll recognize some of this stuff. And I used to drive to work every morning for 10 years down this road. And there was, and I'm not sure if they still have it, when you cross this little lake over here on the side, they had Nessie's head sticking out of the lake. So somebody actually took a wooden head. It's, I believe, it's not down here yet. But they took a wooden head and they carved it, and it was the Boy Scouts, and they put that in the water, and that head was very visible for years. And even somebody stole it, and then they made a new one.
H160 Yankee Papa Echo leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Need to talk to the tower here. I'm going to get in trouble. So there's where the head was, just on the left there, that little lake. I doubt if it's been modeled. It would be kind of cool if it has, but I doubt it. So the head was right down here, right in this area right there. I believe that's where the head was. And the Boy Scout camp, maybe it was over here, because the Boy Scout camp was on that little island. That island there was the Boy Scout camp.
H160 Yankee Papa Echo acknowledge last transmission.
Yeah, stop bugging me.
Halifax Tower, please say
There.
again transmission for
Get them to repeat it. If you go down here in this area,
Yankee Papa Echo leaving my airspace.
these are the lakes I lived off of, and this is Fall River area, and there's that hotel right there, the Fall River Inn, I think it was called back in the days. And these are the lakes that are all connected. And this is the first lake, and then the second lake is a turnoff where I used to Lake Williams. So I can't remember the name of this lake, but the second lake is Lake Williams. I should shut that terrain warning system off. Let me go into pause mode here, look down here, turn off this, turn off
H160
this.
Papa Echo acknowledged last transmission.
Let's see if this makes a big difference. There. Shut up. There we go. And the second lake you're seeing is Lake Williams. So I lived just up from Lake Williams. I could probably find my house if I was really keen. And you drive through here, there's the gas station right there. And this is Lake Williams, and there was a beach right around the corner. So let me see if I can cause issues here by nosing up. I'm going to end up crashing, I know it.
H160 Yankee Papa Echo, please acknowledge.
I'm not acknowledging anything, leave me alone. So I'm trying to find the beach.
Check power.
Checking power. You do not want to go in reverse and lose power because the aircraft will do all kinds of wonky stuff. So let me just slide sideways a bit. A little bit of pedal. And I'm trying to see if I can find that beach. The beach! Where is the beach? Where is the beach? Let me see if I can look down here. There's no beaches here.
H160 Yankee Papa Echo, ATC services terminated. Good day.
The guy gave up on me. So there's no beach there.
Check power.
And the minute it says check power in the flight sim when you're flying a helicopter, you got to check power. If you don't, you'll end up in the water. So there's some houses there and some nice... I think the beach is over here. It's right over here, I think. There it is there. So the beach that I remember was right there. That's where the beach was. And so the road I lived off of, it shows that there's docks there and stuff, but this is, I believe, where the beach was. It's going to ask me to check power. But I lived in there, in with the trees, Waverly, nice area, but let's see, I want to check power again. Nope. And you just keep going down this way, you eventually get to Halifax. And that's it. I'm going to show you one more thing in this aircraft, though. I'm going to put it on pause, and I'm going to go up to the weather simulation, and I'm going to go to the ground level wind here, and I'm going to turn that wind speed way up. And I'm going to make it 35, which is crazy, right? And then turn that off, and I've got a switch on my throttle, or my stick here, that there. Now it's not going to like this wind, so I got to pick up a little bit of speed here. But look at the white caps. These are the islands here that I used to go to and kayak to all the time, where there was an actual Atlantic seal in these islands. And I would kayak up here, and one time my kid and I were here in a kayak, and we realized that bad weather was coming, and I was like, oh shit, and I had to paddle back, and he was just a young fella at the time, and I had to paddle back to the beach, and my beach was way over here, so I had to make sure I got to the beach without any big problem. So like I said, we almost drowned that day. It was a fine day, and the beach was way over here, I think. I don't think that was it there. No. It does a good job with aerial views and stuff. And you really get a feeling like you're flying where you used to live in Microsoft Flight Sim. So it's a great job. There's the building straight ahead is the forestry group. That's the forestry building. And then off this main Waverly Road is you get businesses and stuff off the main road here. And I won't fly through the road. I think I'll just end up crashing. So let's just get back to the water. But look at the waves, the white caps. Simply amazing, right? Amazing white caps. You can see people driving down the Waverly Road there. My co-pilot's wondering what the hell I'm up to here. And actually the waves go in the direction, they do go in the direction of the wind. So you can set that, which is really cool in this program. So night and day from the old days. These things are just amazing. So I'm going to reset my stuff here. I don't think I could land in this water. because I would land with auto floats and everything would be fine. But that's it. So I'm JD. Sorry about the long dragged out flight here, but that's where I used to live. So thanks for watching my channel, and I'll catch you again. We're going to fix some watches this afternoon, work on some watchmaking, and get some of that stuff done. And that's it, and have a good day. Thank you.